This week, I've been really craving something that has chocolate and caramel and pecans and coconut. It's time for me to make a German chocolate cake. It's been on my mega cake list for years. So to make this cake, I baked a rectangular chocolate cake. You know I like squares, right? And I'm gonna save the hump because I think I'm gonna get another layer of cake out of that hump. Then I layered my cake into two, and then I cut it in half. This way I have 4 layers of cake. Now I'm going to measure the size of my layers, and remember the hump, I saved the hump. So I'm going to just layer my hump a bit and cut it to that same measurement. So now I have 5 layers of chocolate cake. This feels like a children's show, the way I'm describing the numbers. So I'm gonna lay out all 5 layers of my chocolate cake and simple syrup. What am I doing? You have to make the filling for the cake before you get to this part.
What is it called? What do you call this filling?
German chocolate cake filling? Isn't that imaginative enough for you? To make this filling, you need unsalted butter, whipping cream, evaporated milk, and brown sugar. If you want the exact recipe, check out my blog. There's a link below. You have to make this filling. It's life-changing. So basically you boil these 4 ingredients together. You want to bring it to a nice rolling boil. I let mine boil for about 10 minutes. And you do need to do this the day before because after it boils, it's very hot. And so you can't use it at that point. So you need to sort of let it set. And while it's boiling, you can be toasting your chopped pecans and your coconut in the oven. And then after it's done boiling, you can add those ingredients to the pot. Take it off the heat, and then I pour in. Are you ready for this? Because this is not caramelly enough, so I also add caramel. Girl, you know I added caramel to this filling. So it's like caramel on, it already smells like caramel. Now I want that cake again. I actually had like a tiny little bit of the filling left and I froze it, and I think I might just eat it with a spoon.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It would be really good on ice cream. That would be so good on ice cream. I've got to try it. I owe it to myself. Okay, let's get back to cake. So when we last spoke, I had simple syruped all of my cake layers. The simple syrup has soaked in, and now it's time to fill and stack this cake. The bakery where I used to make this cake, they iced it in like a dark chocolate fudge frosting, okay? I have all these tiny little scraps of paper of recipes that I used to try out and stuff. So I went through that box, I found that recipe, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this. You know what the problem was? It had the ingredients, but it had no method written down. Because I probably made it so much I didn't have to think about it, right? But that was like 20 years ago. So I was like, oh, I can do this or whatever. You make it in a pot as well. Yeah, it didn't work out. I think I didn't boil it enough because it didn't thicken. I'm not gonna let this cake fail get the best of me because I always have chocolate ganache, so I'm fine. And I love chocolate ganache.
So you went to your fridge in the next room, which is just reserved for chocolate ganache.
I went to the chocolate ganache room. You know about the chocolate ganache cellar, guys, right? We've never filmed in there. Some people have wine cellars. I have a chocolate ganache cellar.
Oh, imagine a cellar that has like all these different frostings.
I'm going to place my ganache into a piping bag fitted with a round tip, and I'm going to pipe a fence that's gonna hold in this German chocolate filling. It's thick, but it is sort of runny, so I don't want it to be right at the edge of the cake. So I start with the first layer, pipe a fence, and then I dollop in this delicious filling and spread it out to the fence. And then I just keep repeating this all the way up the cake. That's okay. I missed that cake. I took it to Connie's birthday get-together. Yes, I took a cut cake to a birthday get-together, but people forgive me for that nowadays. So I filled this beautiful cake, and now I'm going to crumb coat the cake and chill it. So I started to think about how I wanted to decorate this cake since my original plan, because of my double chocolate frosting incident, that's what we're gonna call it. I'm gonna become like a full artist with this cake. I'm gonna go rogue. I have a lot of extra colored buttercream, and I think what I wanna do is smash it onto this cake. Literally. Just smash buttercream onto the cake.
No.
Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna ice my cake one more time and just make sure it's nice and straight. Anytime I make a square cake, I always double check. You can hold a ruler to the side, make sure all of the sides are straight, trim if you need to, and I'm icing the cake and popping it back in the fridge. It really doesn't matter how neat this icing is because, like I said, I'm gonna smash buttercream into this cake. Now I'm going to use 4 cake boards that are all wider than my cake. And then I have all my colored buttercream. What colors did I use? Oh yeah. What were the other 2 colors, Cengiz? He's right. I'm going to just ice blobs of my color here and there all over the board. Guys, if we do this cake quiz, Cengiz is gonna smoke all of you. So I already decided what the prize is gonna be, ready? It's an empty wine bag. That is a how to cake it inside joke. So at our last Christmas party, which ends up being the last time the whole team was together because of COVID. So we did a Kris Kringle, or like a Secret Santa. I get a gift. And it was a wine bag. So it was like a nice canvas bag with like a pattern on it. And it's meant to hold a bottle of wine, except it wasn't holding a bottle of wine. It was just a canvas bag. And Dawson's like, but where's the wine? Like looking at the table. I didn't get any wine, I just got an empty wine. It's like, here, buy your own wine. And so why we're laughing so hard is that the person responsible for bringing the empty wine bottle bag was Cengiz. So I've done this across 4 boards. Now I'm gonna get my cake, which is nice and chilled, and basically pick up these boards and splat them, like I'm just gonna push them into the sides of my cake. And I'm gonna press.
This was so much fun.
It was totally a lot of fun. I'm gonna press and then I'm gonna pull off the board. So the buttercream isn't even flat on the cake because it sort of pulls away. And it felt very freeing because like I couldn't really control it. I just had to be okay with however it looked.
It's also very artistic.
Okay, hold on. Let me stay very still and let me put on like a snobby artist face. I've decided to pipe a border along the top of the cake because I really want to frame it like this is a portrait. And for this, the medium I love using is chocolate ganache. I've put it in a piping bag with a star tip, and I'm going to pipe in an S formation. The S formation that I've piped all along the top is framing the top of the cake. Do you understand?
Yes, but why is the art itself outside the frame in this piece?
Oh, you noticed that, did you? That's very good. A lot of people don't pick up on this message. Kenny. And what I'm trying to say here is we try to box people in as a society. We want everyone... Why are you laughing? This is not as funny as an empty wine bag, I promise. But I still want art within my frame. So what I've decided is to take I have some dark chocolate bars. I'm gonna lay them out on a cookie sheet and I'm going to decorate them. So I have some melted pink compound chocolate. I have some big coconut shards that have been toasted. And this is also a nod to the flavor inside the cake. I'm not forgetting what's inside. I have some melted purple compound chocolate. I have sprinkles, and basically, I'm just gonna, once again, I'm gonna be free. I can put them in the fridge for 10 minutes to set, and then I'm gonna use a chef's knife to just break them up into large, like shards of chocolate. I'm also gonna drizzle some turtles. While I was making this filling, I kept thinking about eating turtles. I love turtles because each one is so unique. It's like a small chocolate sculpture, you know? It doesn't look as manufactured and like made in a mold as other chocolates. That's why I chose turtles, because they too are trying to break free from the mold. So the first thing I want to lay onto this canvas is some sprinkles. I love sprinkles. They're colorful, there's different shapes. It's very abstract, you know what I mean? And then I'm just gonna add the shards of chocolate, add the turtles, do whatever you want. So when you want, can we play the footage of me making the chocolate shards? So
Absolutely.
what I wanna know from the audience is when you watch me decorating the chocolate shards, what feeling do you get? What do you think I was expressing? Is there somewhere they can comment? Leave a comment below. Of course, I needed to add my signature to this work of art, as I do with any work of art, and that is gold. So I just picked up little bits of gold leaf and fluttered them onto the side of the cake, onto the smashed buttercream. You do want to do this when your cake is chilled. Using gold leaf is actually really tricky because it's so light, and if you hold it for too long, it will stick to your fingers. So I just picked up little bits of gold leaf and fluttered them onto the side of the cake. You do want to do this when your cake is chilled. Gold just elevates my art. It's timeless. It's as old as the earth, and this is why I include gold. Guys, it was just Labor Day weekend, so we are having a flash sale. All of our baking tools are 15% off when you use the discount code Labor of Love. Head to the link in the description below to shop. So whenever I complete a work of art, I destroy it with a knife. Are you the type of person who only looks within the frame? Or are you the type of person who looks without the frame? Beyond the frame. Beyond the frame. In fact, that's the name of this piece. So for example, let me put it in layman's terms. Most people would buy a wine bag and put wine in it. But you thought, why can't it just be a bag? If you need to see more of my cake, check this out. Did I do that all right?
Thank you so much for coming to so much. The cake was delicious.
Hello? No, I will not recreate a work of art. How dare you? I've done smashed buttercream. I won't do it again. No, absolutely not. I don't care if Paris wants it.